Hello, this is Brian Reich, back again with another WordPress tutorial video. In this video, we are going to talk about WordPress updates. So in the last video, we talked about the WordPress dashboard, which is what we're looking at right here. And at the top on our toolbar, we see that there is an indicator that we have 4 updates available. Over here on the left, under the dashboard updates option, you can see we have a little indicator here that says 4 as well. If we click either of those sections, it's going to take us to the update screen. So let's go ahead and do that. And on this screen, we have a couple of sections. We have we have an indicator here of when the site last checked for updates, and it says it was done February 5th, 2019 at 2:03 p.m., which, well, that's today. We can click check again, which is going to go out to WordPress. It's going to check for updates to WordPress itself. It's going to check for plugin updates, and it's going to check for theme updates. Now, over time, your website is just like any other piece of software. There will be updates released, and you will have to decide whether or not to install them and when to install them. And I've got some best practices and, some information I can give you from experience, but ultimately it will be your choice. Let's go down this page though. It's telling us we have the latest version of WordPress. Well, that's great. Usually you want to be on the latest version of WordPress, but there is a gotcha. You also have plugins on your website that add new functionality, and you have themes on your website which provide the look and feel of your site. If you install a version of WordPress that is not compatible with the plugins that you have installed or the theme that you have installed, you're gonna have a bad day. Basically, what could happen is it could render your site useless, or your site may render incorrectly. You're gonna have problems that you may not know how to solve. So what I usually do is I install security and minor updates to WordPress almost immediately. And it's usually pretty safe to do so. What you want to do is always create a backup of your website before you run any plugin updates, any theme updates, or any WordPress updates. This is just a good policy that will protect you if you run into one of the problems that I just described. How you create a backup? Well, that's going to be up to you. Most hosting platforms provide some way to create a site backup. Some make it easier than others. But explaining how to do that through your hosting platform is kind of outside the scope of these videos. Maybe later we'll talk about how to create a backup from within WordPress, but we will talk about that later. So going down through here is the plugin update section. Well, we don't have any plugins installed on this website, so we don't have any updates to look at yet. If you had any plugins that required updates, you'd see them here. They would look just like the theme updates that we see below. So down below here, we have 4 themes that require updates. Now, these are all the default themes that come with WordPress. I haven't installed anything else yet. But what you can do is select the themes that you want to update, and then click the Update Themes button. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and click Select All, which puts a checkbox next to everything in this section, and I'm going to click Update Themes. My hosting platform has already created a backup of this website last night, so I feel pretty confident in processing these updates. So it's actually going to go out, it's going to download a zip file of these theme updates, and it's going to overwrite the themes that are currently installed on the website with the new version. Okay, so we'll return to our WordPress update page. It should tell us we have no updates. Everything is up to date now. All right, so once again, just to reiterate, you want to be careful when running updates. You're constantly going to be in a delicate balance of deciding whether or not the updates that require installation are worth the risk of installing them. What I often like to do, as I already said, is create a backup of my website before I install any updates. I also like to do a little bit of research on the updates to determine whether or not they are ready for the version of WordPress that I'm installing, or if the plugins or themes are ready for the version of WordPress that I've installed. Some will give an indication. If you click for more information about those updates, they'll tell you if they're compatible with the version of WordPress that you have installed. So go ahead and do your due diligence and do some research before you go installing updates. Or if you work with a web dev like me, it may be worth your time and money to simply hire them to do this process for you. All right, well, that's it for this video. I look forward to talking to you in the next one.